7-inch that I airbrushed. Now this paint was given to me to paint by a friend of mine. So, as you can see, it has like a blue pearl as I move it in different angles all over the body. You can see it on the gills, you can see it on the side of the body, and you can see it on the top part and the bottom part. Now, this video is not going to be a step-by-step tutorial on how to airbrush. Now, this is just going to be a basic introduction. So at some point of the video, various points of the video, I'm actually going to be moving the paint away from the camera, and I'm just going to be painting away. So, don't be surprised. But the reason for that is because I do not want to overload you with information. Now keep in mind, this is actually a finished version, and this is the stuff I'm going to be showing you throughout future videos. How to do the finished product. But for now, it's just a brief video of what's coming up next. Now, as you can see, it really has a lot of shine, and the video actually doesn't really do much justice. There's a lot of flash that comes out when the sun hits this paint. But for now, let's just get started on just pretty basic tips. Here I have an airbrush, the paint, which I already primed with this Green Stuff World. Now this stuff, I use it for my higher end paints that I do airbrush. As you can see, I have water and soap, and I also have an empty bottle. And the reason why I do carry an empty bottle with me as well, it's I throw my dirty paint in there, which you will see as we go in the video. Plus, it's very important, ammonia-free Windex. It's very good. Make sure it's ammonia-free. Protects the gun. And it makes everything much faster when it comes to cleaning the gun when you're exchanging colors. Alrighty. So, now you're gonna need some little cups. Anything you can mix something in. And here I have a pearlized white, silverish, which this color I actually made myself. Now, like I said, this is not a step-by-step, but this is a color that I actually made, and I put it in the bottle. And you're gonna see what I mean. If you airbrush already, you'll notice that Great Tex actually doesn't make the color that you're gonna see on my glove. And I do recommend black gloves like I said, this is just a brief video. I was gonna paint this bait, and so I decided to, why not make a quick video about it to show you guys. So on here, as you can see, I'm just adjusting my gun. I usually like to keep my gun open from the back. It allows me to adjust before I really get into the painting, into details and everything. And since I make my own colors, I use pigments, and so pretty much I have to adjust my needle to a certain amount of distance from the nozzle in order for to get the spray that I want. And like I said, this is not a step-by-step video, but you see the spray on my hand. That's how the bait actually looks, or it's gonna look. You'll see. I mean, obviously you already saw a preview of it, of the finished product, but I'm just spraying a pearl white, slight silver all over the bait, base, top, sides, and bottom. And I always put my paint back in a cup or in the bottle, which you're gonna see. Now, first step, I just throw a couple of sprays of my ammonium-free Windex, and as you can see, I'm just pressing down on the trigger, just pressing down on the trigger. Now, I'm still pressing down on the trigger, and I add water to remove the Windex real quick. You don't want to keep too much Windex, the Windex on your gun. And then I add water with soap. And that's not it. I also add some more water. Again, just regular water. And that's it, just to clean the Windex out, to clean the soap out. But you guys probably have faster methods. This is what works. I had this gun for over a year. Actually, like, yeah, maybe like over a year, like a year and a half. And that's how I maintain my gun, and so far so good. If you know a faster process, just share it on the comments for someone. But this is what I've been doing. It's been working for me. Now, you can see here I'm using the heat gun. Now the heat gun is very, very crucial. I like to use a lot of it, especially on this day, very cold day. And pretty much when you make your own colors, which I'm going to show you, you use a lot of reducer and pigments, and usually that keeps the bait like somewhat semi-wet. So you don't want to have like layers that are wet, or you want your layers to be completely dry. Now, I do take a while on my heat gun on each layer, but I do it from a distance, and as you can see, I do keep my hand near the bait. Now, there's a method to that. The reason for it's if my hand is getting too hot, if it burns my hand, I know it's burning the bait. You do not want to burn the bait. You do not want to overdo it. You can easily crack the paint. If you overdo heat gun, but I'm doing it at a distance, very low heat. Just take your time with this, especially on high-end baits. Now here, I just have black, regular black, nothing fancy. And now the reason why you do use a heat gun and you want dry layers, you want your bait to be completely dry, it's because you do not want to, well, when it comes to clear coating, if you clear coat and your bait is wet, instance, this paint's not even mine. So, I do not want to be responsible for something expensive. So just do it right the first time. Take your time. Don't rush things. Just making sure that everything's still flowing good. Respraying my glove. And I'm just doing it slow, light layers. And here comes the heat gun again. And like I said, I have my hand pretty much guides me on how much heat I'm adding. Now, like I said, you want to make sure that your paint is completely dry, but you don't want to overdo it. The reason for it is you can crack the paint. Now, okay, as you can see, I already painted the gills, and here I did the fins as well. I had a box of ding dongs, and I just make my stencils out of that. And I'm gonna show you how I make stencils to like as precise as you can. That way you don't have to spend money on them. Now there's some stencils that you will have to spend money on that I do, and I'm gonna show you guys which ones. And those are for my trout dots when I'm doing trout patterns. But usually when it comes to fins and gills, I make them myself. And there's a strategy that I use that I'm going to be showing you, and I hope it helps. And the thing about my strategy is just with basic things that you can find at your house, inside your house, in your kitchen, anywhere. As you can see, I had a ding dong, but I was using cardboard from a ding dong box. Now, here I'm respraying my hand again, just to make sure that I have the gold that I just added. Pretty much that's coming out the way I want it to. And I'm just adding some gold on the gills, just to give that extra shine, and it's a pearl gold. So you always want to, especially my friend wanted flash. So that's a good way that hue, that touch of like every time you're moving the paint on in a different angle, you get a different color. But whenever this paint touches the sun and water, man, forget it. It just changes completely. This is such a good, this color, I like to use it only on my higher end paints that I paint. I don't really use it on jerk paints and stuff like that. Like anything that's like a $3 blank, I am not going to use that paint. And here's just a little quick preview on my glove. How I actually want the paint to look. So that's pretty much it for that. I'm not gonna add more. Like I said, it's easy to overdo stuff. Keep it as simple as you can. And that's pretty much it. Now I am forgetting something. And here I have a Joann's happy birthday card that I got. And I just made a circle with it. And I'm just gonna do the dot, which is the shad dot. There it is. As you can see, it looks like a mole on a fish, but that's it. I'm just pretty much measuring it with the gill, with the side of the gill. Same thing. The bait. This bait is made so perfect that both sides are the same. So you just follow the scales, follow the pattern of the gill, and that's pretty much it. As you can see. And like I said, you don't really need expensive stencils to get creative. The amount of creativity is endless when it comes to airbrushing. And honestly, I just airbrush to get patterns that I like. Also, like I said, it saves you a lot of money. Not only that, but you don't have to wait weeks and weeks and weeks, or sometimes even months, to get your paint back from a painter. Now, I had a little bit of soap, especially with black. I like to start it off like that with soap and the brush. And here's where the empty bottle is going to come in handy. It just makes things faster instead of spraying it out of the gun, which takes some time. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to clean up the airbrush. And I hope you guys like this. And I will have a step-by-step. I got some blanks coming in, some swim bait blanks coming in. So I'm going to be doing that on those. I just don't know when they're going to be shipped. It's one of those baits where like you just gotta wait on the bait maker. But it's worth it, so I'm not gonna stress about the waiting time. But I'll be doing some jerk baits pretty soon for you guys. Step-by-step tutorial on stencils coming soon. Thank you guys. Now here's the finished product again. Pretty much like how I started.